Okay, so I gotta address this because people are pushing my buttons, right? So this idea of cultural appropriation or misappropriation or whatever. So people are like, what is it, and does it even exist, and is it important, and does it matter? Why are we even concerned about whether somebody takes somebody else's culture or not? So first of all, we got to talk about what culture is, and I like using this. What I've kind of termed as the carrot metaphor, if you will. So here is the carrot. I hope you can see that, right? So here is the what we will call this part the root of the carrot. And we'll call this the top. We'll just call this the top, right? So there's a symbiotic relationship between the top of the carrot, if you will, and its root. And that's an important relationship because what the root does is it creates the foundation for all of the greenery, the top, the part of the carrot that we can see above the ground. And in exchange, the root becomes the stabilization point, but the leaves feed the carrot, the root, right? So there's the symbiotic relationship between the two. So if we think about culture in this way, what is the top of culture? We'll call that artifacts, right? So those are all the things that you can see about a culture, right? So the green part of the carrot is the part you can see, and you can't see the bottom of the carrot, right? So these are the artifacts. Music, hairstyles, the rituals people undertake, what they do, the food that they eat. All of that stuff comes as a part of the artifacts. Now, then there is the deeper part of culture, which is the root, and we'll call that part, or we'll relabel that part, values, right? So these are the values of the culture, the deep part of a culture that you don't ever necessarily see unless you're a part of that culture. So we have artifacts and we have values. So what is this idea, or what is cultural misappropriation? Cultural misappropriation happens like this. So we have a carrot that has a certain set of, it is the root, and it has a certain set of values, right? So that is the bottom. Now we have these artifacts that indicate where those values are. So artifacts are the physical manifestation of the values of a culture, right? So you cannot have these the greenery, the top of the carrot, without having the root, right? So the root is directly connected to the artifacts. So the values are directly attached to the artifacts. So what is this thing called cultural appropriation or misappropriation of culture? Well, again, we have the values, which are the roots. This is the root, right? And then we have the artifacts, which is all that stuff that's on top, the physical manifestation of the root. Now, the problem becomes when there is a disconnect between the artifacts and the value, which is the root. And so if I just take the top, if I just take the artifacts and I use them and I try to implant or I try to transplant the top of the artifacts on the values of a radish, I'm not going to be successful, right? So I can't take the top of a carrot and transplant it onto a radish because that would be considered cultural misappropriation. Now, can people and do people borrow things from other cultures? Do we live in an American society that is an amalgam of different things? Yes, that is very much true. But when one takes from another culture to to create something new without regard to that other thing, that is cultural misappropriation, right? For example, the whole notion of redskin or dressing up as a Native American to honor them, but you don't have a relationship with them, that's inappropriate, right? So even folks who have worn dreads, if they don't necessarily know that that's not really an African American thing, but it's a Jamaican American thing, if they don't recognize those things, they don't have those relationships with folks or with that information, then that's misappropriation, right? When we talk about hairstyles and rituals, the problem isn't that people adopt those different things, but they don't understand the context or the relationship that those artifacts have to the values. And so when we think about these things, these are the things that come up for us, that we have to understand that what we see as artifacts are deep and steeped in the root of values. And I'm out.